In fall 2015, with 3 years of funding from the National Science Foundation, Project AppMaker Pro held its first session at the Polytechnic campus of Arizona State University. The goals of Project AMP are: capitalize on the technology interests of high school students to increase their interest in and success with the study of the sciences, engineering, and mathematics, and update high school teachers in technology and ways to use technology to enhance their teaching. The choice of app development as the centerpiece of this project is based on what we know about students' interests in technology.
Well, I've been fascinated by the fact that students are so interested in technology. In fact, when they're using technology, they do all the right kinds of things we want to see students do in all subjects in education. One, they persist. You can't tear them away from the technology. Two, they experiment. They want to try to improve on their performance. Third, they collaborate because they could use useful ideas from their comrades. And fourth, they communicate. They can't stop talking about what they're doing or showing what they're doing.
In Project AMP Design Villages, students and teachers collaborate to analyze existing software apps in particular fields, and then modify or develop new apps to address real-world needs. After spending 1.25 years with us, participants devote another semester or summer conducting AMP-type programs for folks in their communities. There are 2 villages in each of cohorts 1 and 2, and 3 villages in cohort 3. Design villages are led by university and industry scientists with STEM, software, and programming expertise. Let's hear what 3 leaders have to say about their villagers.
I was just stunned at how well all the students who had been there in the summer had absorbed and could actually talk very intelligently about structures and Newton's laws that govern how structures work. So they came along very, very quickly in the content knowledge, much to my surprise.
But the way we have done the AMP program, I think, has really found a place in the high school girls, and we see more of the girls taking a leadership role and contributing heavily to the process of app development in comparison to their male classmates.
One of the apps that I find most interesting is an app that it was made for people with dementia or Alzheimer's, and so they've created this app on your phone that will help you if you are at the grocery store and you start to panic and you're lost, or you run into someone that you think you should know but you can't place them. And so on this app, it has a home screen that's got pictures of your family, pictures of your friends. It's got your contacts grouped by where you know them from. They've got a calm down feature where if you get overwhelmed, you can play a calm down feature that is a slideshow of pictures of your family and calming music. It's got a home key where it can peg your GPS location and help you get home.
These leaders are assisted by mentors who are undergraduate computer science majors at ASU or superstar high school students who also serve as role models for the student participants. Each design village has high school teachers and high school students. Those participants are admitted on a first-come, first-served basis. Thus, interest is a big motivator. Teachers and students come primarily from the East Valley area of Phoenix. We do have some from far distances, like Baghdad, Arizona, a 2.5-hour drive from the Polytechnic campus. Let's hear from some of the high school teacher participants about what they learned and the help they received.
So I learned a great deal of technology because I was not very strong in technology. So first I looked at the apps and were able to evaluate a good versus a poor app. And then I was able to look at different ways of learning how to code. And then eventually we learned Java. I thought the mentors were extremely helpful. And they didn't just work with the students, they worked with us just as well, so with the teachers. So they were awesome. So they were hands-on, they would explain. I think the biggest thing they all had was patience with us, because they didn't get frustrated. They just reiterated what it was again and taught us one more time how to do that so that we could get that concept.
I think my students help me understand the content better because they have more recent experience with it than we do.
but I really like how that ASU student came over and helped us explain it further and describe it for us. So they were really excited about that, so then that made me excited.
And now let's hear from AMP students about their apps and their experiences with the project.
So my team is working on an app that actually helps women track their menstrual cycles, and it can collect data and predict future cycles for them.
The app that my team and I created is a heart rate application. So pretty much you put your finger on the phone's camera, and after about 30 seconds it receives a very accurate heart rate reading.
I actually really like working with high school teachers. It's awesome because instead of just them teaching and just working with students all the time, you actually work with the people that teach you.
I think it's a great teamwork building kind of experience, and also I did learn a lot about coding, which I had no idea about before, so I think it really helped me there.
The culmination of the Village experience each semester and summer is the Showcase Open House. Each villager picks up the microphone and describes some aspect of work completed and responds to questions from the audience.
Presenting at the Showcase is actually really fun for me. I was really proud of the app that we've been working on, so I really like sharing that with other people and getting their feedback and their comments.
The assessment of the impact of the program on students' and teachers' content and tech knowledge is conducted by the project's external evaluator, Dr. Susan Wolf. Dr. Wolf talks about what participants gained from participation in AMP, what surprised her, and impressions after attending 3 Showcase events.
I also had an opportunity to speak with several students and to a couple of teachers as well, and their outlook on the project has been very positive. They feel they've gained skills, especially in technology and programming, and they've also really had a chance to get respect for one another for what each of them brings to the table. What our data clearly indicates is there are no statistically significant differences between men and women, regardless of whether or not they're teachers or students, in pursuing these fields. And I think that's a big shout out to women, to be able to share those with not only peers and family members, but we have visiting faculty. We have a much larger group that becomes the audience for these students, and their ability to not only take the microphone but to be able to demonstrate what they've learned, to show their work products, I think is a phenomenal experience. And ultimately those are the skills that they need to go on to that collegiate interview to be that successful candidate for an undergraduate degree.
To all who are participating in leading Project AMP, the Design Village faculty and mentors, to family and friends, to all teachers in AMP, thank you. And to the students, we look forward to your contributions to improving our world.